What's up guys, OJ here. Welcome back to another video. Today we've got a show packed full of different content to go over. But before we get into anything, please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, and click that notification bell to get my videos first. Now let's go ahead and start off with some more on what I talked about just a bit in the previous video. We do know that Kamaro, who has gotten some things correct online on Twitter, some things not so much, but his track record isn't too bad. He's talked about Astral Chain 2, that game is in development and we could see it in 2023, but he's also expanded upon that same thread. So I wanted to go over something that a lot of you guys ask me about in the live streams, and I see it on Twitter, and I also see it on the comment sections of my videos. And what is Nintendo going to be doing for this June if there's going to be a big Nintendo Direct? Because there is no E3 this year. Somehow the ESA messed that up again, even though they had something last year, but now this year there's nothing. So some people feel that Nintendo might not have a show in June, or maybe they're just going to wait or hold off or something like that. Now, this is not exactly 100% definitive with what Kamaro's going to have to say here, but he does give his opinion, and I will also give my opinion on what Nintendo could be doing for a big Nintendo Direct this June. So on Twitter, somebody asked him a question in the same thread about Astral Chain 2. And the question was, well, when do you expect a big Nintendo Direct announcement? And here is what Kamaro had to say on the matter. Quote, "They can announce it anytime, few days earlier or even a week in advance. They have a lot to unpack for Q4 early 2023, so I expect a big Nintendo Direct even without E3. Now, the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because this is something that I also echo too. Nintendo does not need E3 in order to do a Nintendo Direct. Nintendo made Direct so they don't have to be dependent on the industry in order to get their information out, and they can control their information the way that they want to do it in order to make best use of how to get that information and new game announcements or systems or whatever the case is to people out there. I think that the thing that happened with the E3 2011 and E3 2012 with the Wii U, those were things that were live. They were right then and there. And I think that that probably scared Nintendo more so than anything. They would already been doing Nintendo Directs, or they had like a 3DS Direct or something like that. But I think that what happened with the miscommunications of the live shows and E3 and people just writing articles on the fly really scared Nintendo into making sure that they doubled down on Nintendo Directs or creating this type of format. So to say that they need E3 in order to do a big Nintendo Direct is ridiculous, considering that they have Nintendo Directs throughout the year even without E3, and some of them are even better than maybe even an E3 Direct. We've had Directs that come out in September that are maybe better than their E3 Direct, or a Direct that came out in the early year that's maybe better than the late year. It really just depends on what content is ready and when they're going to get that content ready to show up in a Nintendo Direct so they can speak directly to the consumers out there about what is coming up. It's not based off of E3, and at this point, it never will be based off of E3. I remember back in 2013 when Nintendo said that they're not doing a live show for E3 anymore, and everyone stated that Nintendo has nothing, that they're done with E3, they're pulling out of E3, all this and that. It's the worst thing ever, and it actually ended up being the best thing ever when it comes to Nintendo Directs, because now all the other companies have all copied that type of formula, and everybody, Microsoft, Sony, everybody wants the companies to do Direct style presentations. So I think that this is exactly the reason why they made this, so they don't need E3 for it. Now, could we see a big Nintendo Direct coming this June? Yeah, I definitely think it's possible. I mean, they've always had their big Directs in June. There was that one year with COVID where things were up in the air, so they didn't have one then. I think it was July for like the Nintendo Direct Mini, but they really haven't went back to that ever since things have kind of gotten somewhat back to normal. I mean, there's still issues here and there, but now that everyone's kind of adapted to either if they're going to go in and work in the office or if they're going to be working at home and from there. So I don't think there's going to be any issues there. And I do think that there is going to be a big Nintendo Direct. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that Nintendo's obviously holding back. I don't think that the second half of the year is just going to be Splatoon 3 and Bayonetta and like that's it, and Pokemon. I think that there are probably about another maybe 3-4 games or so that they want to talk about. And of course, there's DLC to talk about as well with Mario Kart. I think that there's other probably smaller projects to get into. There's probably some remakes, remasters to get into. So I think that there's enough to fill up a 40-minute presentation along with probably like weird ports that are coming, like No Man's Sky out of nowhere. So announcements like that I think are also going to really just fill up that Nintendo Direct, and it should be a fairly good show. Last year we had the Metroid Dread announcement at E3, and that one just sent everyone crazy when it comes down to it. So there was a number of good things announced, even too with something like Advance Wars. Maybe we get an actual release date for Advance Wars at this point. So I think that there will be a big Nintendo Direct in June, and we just have to wait and see. But they're not going to announce it like a month early or something like that. People think that they're going to announce it weeks ahead of time or something. No, they'll probably just announce it like the week before, especially since E3 is not around to coincide with it. So I think that they're just going to announce it when they feel like it. I'm guessing it's going to be sometime in early June, and then we'll have it like the next week or something like that. So it's going to be interesting to see exactly how it all plays out. But what are your thoughts? Let me know what you think about a potential big Nintendo Direct in June in the comment section below. All right, and moving on to the next topic here, guys. We've got some more information on Xenoblade Chronicles 3, which confirms something that we talked about in a recent video of mine, that cooking is making its return. Campsites are making their return from Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Torn of the Golden Country, which I do love the campsites. I do love the cooking, so it's very good to see this. And I talked about this just a little bit before we get into the information about how I feel that Monolith Soft is taking everything that they've learned from all the different various Xenoblade Chronicles games and kind of putting it all into this one. And I think that it's really starting to show at this point, especially as we're covering this game and getting new information pretty much every day from Monolith Soft. So here's what the Xenoblade Chronicles official Twitter account had to say. Taking breaks throughout the adventure is important. Manana can cook at rest points. While cooking requires equipment, if you eat Manana's dishes, you can temporarily increase experience gained as well as other rewards earned through combat. Try a variety of dishes. Now, this is something that I love to see. I'm a big fan of cooking in RPGs, especially when it gives you temporary stat buffs, but even better when it gives you extra experience, because I love to grind in RPGs, especially in games that I know I love the battle system, and I love Xenoblade Chronicles games battle system, so I can sit there and grind out battles and learn new techniques and try out different strategies for hours at a time. I've done that with every single Xenoblade game, and now they're actually giving you rewards and incentives in order to do that. So this is a triple thumbs up. I only have 2 thumbs, but if I had another hand, it's triple thumbs up on this one. I am very excited about this new feature in here with the cooking and everything. And we did know that Manana is a good cook. We learned that, so I figured that cooking would come back in some way, shape, or form. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one here. We do have a little bit more on the talent arts versus the regular art. So this is more about the depth of the combat that you can expect in Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Now, there are special arts which deal more damage than normal arts, known as talent arts. If you act according to your role, the talent gauge will fill. For example, if Noah attacks the side or back of an enemy, his talent gauge will fill. So once again, it just adds some more layers and depths, kind of like Xenoblade 1, mixing in some of those different type of things that they've had before in previous games and kind of putting it all together. So once again, really loving what they're doing here. They're breaking down the combat. They're talking about it in a way that's really, really cool in terms of just kind of understanding the battle system in this one. And I'm really hoping that they make sure that they have a really good tutorial with actual like bullet points for, hey, this does this, this does this, this does this, because Torna had that. And I think that games going forward from Monolith Soft, they have not been known to teach the players the battle system to the best of their abilities. So I'm hoping that they fix that with Torna and onward. So this is definitely a good thing. They're going through what the combat is about, what you can expect, what's going on with it. So pros or people that are really in depth with the combat system can kind of say, okay, that's how that works. And people that are new can say, okay, I'm going to learn exactly how I need to do this or I need to do that. So very good here. But yes, super excited for Xenoblade Chronicles 3. This is going to be the best Xenoblade game ever, and I'm going to be playing this game for like 100+ hours. So it's going to be awesome when it comes out on July 29th. So what are your thoughts on these 2 different pieces of information with Xenoblade Chronicles 3? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, and moving on to the next topic here. I am so excited to discuss JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle R. We have an official release date, and for those who don't know, if you come to my live streams, you know, but I'm a huge JoJo's Bizarre Adventure fan. I absolutely love the series, and this is probably the best game in the series, or probably one of the best games in the series, which there are a few good JoJo's Bizarre Adventure games. So to see that this game is coming over to all the different platforms, including the Nintendo Switch, is very, very exciting, because this game, even still graphically, it holds up. This is a PS3 game. It looks just as good as games coming out today. So very awesome. I think it's the art style, like the drawings and like the cell shading and all that. It just looks really cool. I really love what they did with like the shaders and stuff like that. So JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle R will launch for the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch on September 1st in Japan, as well as the PC via Steam worldwide, and for consoles on September 2nd worldwide. Publisher Bandai Namco and developer CyberConnect 2 have announced. Now, here's some interesting information. There is an early access demo featuring online player versus player and practice modes will also be available soon for the PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4. A release date was not announced. Now, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle R will be available in a $50 physical and digital edition, as well as a $70 digital deluxe edition. The latter includes a season pass that grants access to 4 new playable characters, the season pass bonus costumes Rohan first appearance costume and Muhammad Abadal's father costume, and the animation special event color set for Jonathan Joestar, Joseph Joestar, Jotaro Kujo, Josuke, and Giorno Giovanna. A Bandai Namco store exclusive collector's bundle is also available for pre-order for $100, which includes Jolene Kujo figurine, animation special event color set, code and pre-order bonus code Jolene Kujo costume, Green Dolphin Street State Prison jacket. So there's a lot of stuff here. So JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, I've covered it on the channel, so if you want to know more about the game, but this is just a super stylish, really funny anime that's been going on for quite some time now, and I've really grown to love the series. I've watched everything all the way up until the Netflix series with the part 6 that's going on, Stone Ocean, right now. And right now, I'd probably say, since a lot of you guys are probably going to ask me this, I guess I'll just answer it right now. My favorite part is probably part 5 and part 1. Those are my 2 favorites, but part 6 is really good. Stone Ocean is turning out to be really cool, and it's cool having a female JoJo as well. So I'm really looking forward to this game. I think it's going to be good. The only bad thing is that the fact that there's no rollback netcode, it's still using delay-based netcode, so that's unfortunate. But I'm probably just going to play it just so I can beat up this CPU and play the single-player modes and stuff like that. And maybe every now and then I'll go online to see what's happening there. But for the most part, I'm not really playing this to be like super competitive online fighting or anything like that. But yeah, it doesn't have rollback netcode, at least not right now at this point. Maybe they'll add it later, but right now it doesn't have it. So that's very unfortunate, especially after I've been playing a lot of Multiverses, which has rollback netcode, which is considerably better than most of the games that don't have rollback netcode. So what are your thoughts when it comes to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle R and the release date? Plan on picking up this game on any of the platforms. It's available on everything. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, and moving on to the next topic here, guys. We've got a brand new Dragon Quest trailer for a game that they talked about quite some time ago, and I actually forgot about, but now it's back. So Square Enix has released a new teaser trailer for Dragon Quest Treasures, unveiling its official Japanese subtitle of Aoki Hitomi to Ozora no Rashinban, Blue Eyes and the Compass of the Skies, and I probably butchered that name in Japanese, as well as teasing more information to come in June. Now, the platforms and the release date for Dragon Quest Treasures have yet to be announced, but a simultaneous worldwide release is planned. Now, if you want to know more about the game, you can check out the link in the description. It goes over Eric and some of his childhood or when he was younger and everything, and it's actually really weird. I mean, the game looks kind of weird. I mean, this seems like a smartphone style of game, so maybe it's going to come to mobile, maybe it comes to systems as well, but it's really just a new spin-off. You know, it's a new spin-off, and it stars Eric and Mia as children. So we'll see what happens and kind of what they go through. For those who don't know, Eric grew up to be a really like talented thief in Dragon Quest 11, Echoes of an Elusive Age, or just Dragon Quest 11. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with this here, and maybe it's going to come to the systems, maybe it's not, but we're going to get more information about it. But I think the game that everyone wants to know about is Dragon Quest 3, the HD 2D remake, and Dragon Quest 12. Those are the big Dragon Quest games people really want to know about, but that's for another time. So what are your thoughts on Dragon Quest Treasures, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Xenoblade Chronicles, and a potential Nintendo Direct happening sometime soon in June? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Alright guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and we will see you for the next video. Peace.